All right, hello again. I'm gonna switch up the diesel talk a little bit, and this one is why hybrids are stupid and you should never buy one. Uh, I own a 2014 Honda Civic Hybrid. I'll put a link up there to the folder. I have all of the videos I made when I bought it out of a junk auction and rebuilt it so it would function. I like the little car. It's good. I get, average 50 plus miles per gallon on the way to and from work. No problems. And which is what I wanted it for. I went from my 97 Ford, which would get lucky if it got 17, to this car, which gets 50 to 55 depending on how I drive it and the day of the week and the temperature and stuff. And so this car's paid for itself in about a year for everything I had to do with it. And it's a great little vehicle. Now, why does it suck? Well, because it's out of warranty. Car's got, right now, close to 260,000 miles on it. Still runs like a top. It's a Honda, and it's been generally well maintained mechanically. Now, let's say you had the option of buying one of these babies. If you're under warranty, you're buying a new car. This doesn't apply to you. This doesn't matter. Warranty, doesn't matter. If it breaks, the company, Honda will fix it, and you're all back on the road and good to go. But once you own this thing outright and you're beyond the warranty, there are a lot of downsides to the little hybrids compared to the normal gas cars. So the fuel economy rated by the government for my car is 44 combined. Like I said, I get 50 plus because I drive 90% of my miles very slowly, barely getting over 65 miles to the miles an hour, and I'm always on the highway. There are very, very little back roads and city driving that I do. So the comparable 2014 Honda Civic with the regular 1.8 and the CVT, which I believe is very similar to the CVT that's in my hybrid, gets an average of 33. So I figure if I had that car, I would be getting 40-ish miles per gallon the way I drive it. So you gain 40 to 50, what's that? 25% fuel economy. So you're using about 25% more fuel. So, for every 500 miles, you're using a couple of gallons more, maybe $7, $8, $10 every 500 miles. And here's the problem. With the hybrid, there are some very expensive parts in that car that are extraordinarily complicated. And I have had issues with mine, and the reason it was junked in the first place is because the inverter bricked. And when the inverter bricks, that car, while it will run, it will not charge any batteries because there's no alternator on it. So it requires this inverter converter to take the high voltage from the battery pack and convert that to 14 volts or whatever to keep all your other systems running. So while the car ran perfectly fine mechanically, it was dead. You couldn't drive it. And that inverter today costs right at $2,100 plus shipping. And so you have a $2,100 electrical doodad that in your hybrid that is going to fail. This car that I have, from what I can tell, I put the third one in it because when I got it, it already had an aftermarket one in it. So it's on its third inverter. That's, assuming the first one failed out of warranty, which I'm betting it did because it was a Greentech unit and not a Honda unit. So that's already had, $5,000 worth of inverters put into that car. Additionally, it has the battery. Now, the batteries for this car aren't terribly expensive, about $1,800. I don't know if mine's ever been changed, so I have to say that I've never had any issue with it. There's a lot of codes in the system that can be thrown if the battery starts degrading and the car senses it, and I have seen none of those at any point. So mine could be on the original battery. I did not see any evidence that it had been removed or had other seal stickers on it from different companies. So it may be the original battery. But when it fails, and it's when, not if, that's another $2,000. So you figure by the time this thing has 300,000 miles on it, the car itself is probably into itself for, you know, $7,000 worth of electrical junk that you're not going to be there if you bought a standard little Honda with a gas engine and a CVT. And the Honda CVTs are not like Nissans. They actually don't fail much. So you can buy a lot of gasoline for $7,000 and probably have a somewhat more enjoyable driving experience, because this little hybrid is the slowest car I've ever owned. It is not hazardous in traffic if you put your foot in it, but if you want to get 50 miles per gallon, it is a dog. And I'm sure the little ones with the slightly bigger gas motor are better. And so, yeah, I mean, this goes for pretty much any car with a lot of electrical doodads in it. If you can buy an older one that doesn't have all that crap, there's just a lot less to fail. And like, if you can fix it yourself, like I did, it's still expensive when you start getting into these individual parts that cost $2,000 and $3,000. This isn't like changing a transmission, because, some shim, you can rebuild a transmission. You can't rebuild a battery, or well, you can, but, I'll take that back. If you're really good, you can decel it and change it and all that other stuff. But in general, your average schmuck like me is not going to tackle rebuilding a battery. And these batteries are nickel metal hydride, I think. They're not even the wacky ones with the lithium and all that other stuff. So these are even simpler technology. So maybe that's why mine's lasting pretty well. But yeah, I like my hybrid. I like it. It was a good exercise for me from a repair standpoint, just to see if I could do it. That's why I bought it. Another random thing. Taillights on the hybrid are different than any other Honda of that year. They're $300 a piece, and there are very few of them out there that you can buy used. So if they fail, yeah. Versus buying a $20 one off of eBay for any of the gasoline Civics that have different taillights. So it's just little stuff like that they did that makes owning these special EPA-friendly vehicles different and more expensive to maintain if you get it out of warranty. And something else I found. I was filing my taxes this year, getting all that ready, and I noticed that Louisiana has just implemented a new law. If you drive a hybrid or a fully electric vehicle, you have to pay them more money. I have to pay them $60 because I drive a hybrid, because I'm not using as much gas as I would be otherwise. And if you have a full electric, I think it's like $110 or $120 a year that you have to throw the government in Louisiana to make up for the gas tax that you're not paying. So it's just stupid. Now, again, they're under warranty, no issues, enjoy yourself. But unless you can do the work yourself and you really understand what you're doing, junk that thing after the warranty's up. Get yourself something with either buy a new one if you can afford it, or get yourself a nice old gas vehicle that's simple. So I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have a hybrid and have had these issues, or if you're, running a 20-year-old Honda Insight that's never had an issue. I'd love to hear that too. So hope you're all doing well, and take care.